Wait, don't scroll for the next 5 seconds, because what you're about to hear might connect with something deep inside your heart that you've been trying to ignore for a long time. This is not random. And it's not here to confuse you, it's here to make you pause, think, and reflect on something that keeps coming back into your life. No matter how hard you try to move forward, there are moments when a certain name crosses your mind without warning. You could be busy, distracted, or even trying to forget, but somehow that thought returns quietly and consistently, and you begin to wonder why, out of all the people in the world, this one person still has a place in your thoughts and your emotions. This isn't about pressure or fear, and it's not about forcing you to believe something blindly. Instead, it's about understanding your feelings, your experiences, and the patterns that keep showing up in your life, because sometimes what we feel repeatedly is worth paying attention to, not because it controls us, but because it reveals something about our world and our emotional connections. Through the teachings associated with Jesus Christ, many people have learned that love is not something that should create confusion or fear, but something that brings growth, clarity, and peace. Real connection is not about obsession or constant anxiety. It is about mutual respect, patience, understanding, and the ability to grow together over time. Sometimes people enter our lives for a reason, and even when distance or challenges separate you, the impact they had does not disappear instantly. It lingers, it teaches, and it shapes how you see relationships moving forward. Maybe you have asked yourself questions like, why do I still think about them? Why does their name still feel familiar? Why does something inside me feel unfinished? These questions are normal, and they do not mean you are weak. They simply mean you are human and capable of forming deep emotional connections. But here's something important to understand: not every connection is meant to return, and not every feeling is meant to be acted on immediately. Sometimes the purpose of a connection is to teach you something valuable about yourself, your boundaries, your needs, and your growth. Sometimes distance is necessary for both people to change, to mature, and to understand what truly matters in life before anything meaningful can happen again. Life is not about chasing every emotion you feel. It is about learning which emotions bring peace and which ones bring confusion. The right connection in your life will not constantly leave you questioning your worth. It will not create endless stress or uncertainty. Instead, it will support your growth, bring stability into your life, and allow you to feel safe being yourself without fear of losing that person. The truth is, many people hold on to feelings because they fear letting go, not because the connection is right for them. And that is why reflection is so important. Take a moment and ask yourself, does this person bring peace into my life? Do they respect who I am? Do they align with the kind of future I want to build? These questions matter more than temporary emotions, because a strong relationship is built on values, consistency, and mutual effort, not just feelings that come and go. There are also times when people reappear in your thoughts because you have not fully processed what happened. Maybe there were things left unsaid, maybe there was no proper closure, or maybe you never truly understood why things ended the way they did. Your mind tries to revisit these moments not to trap you, but to help you make sense of them so you can move forward with clarity and strength instead of confusion. If someone's name keeps returning to your mind, it might be a sign to reflect, not to rush back into the past, but to understand what that connection meant and what it taught you about yourself. Growth often comes from these moments of reflection. When you stop running from your thoughts and start learning from them, you begin to see things differently. You begin to recognize patterns. You begin to understand what you truly need in a relationship and what you are no longer willing to accept. That is how maturity is built, not through perfect situations, but through learning from imperfect experiences. You are not behind in life, and you have not missed your chance at something meaningful. Your story is still being written every day through the choices you make and the lessons you learn. Patience plays a huge role in this process, because not everything needs to happen immediately. Sometimes the best outcomes come when you give yourself time to grow, to heal, and to think clearly before making decisions that could affect your future. Relationships should never feel like a constant battle for clarity or attention. They should feel balanced, supportive, and peaceful. Even during difficult times, the right person will not make you feel like you are constantly guessing where you stand. They will communicate clearly, show consistency, and respect your presence in their life without making you feel uncertain or anxious. This is what healthy connection looks like, and this is what you should aim for instead of holding on to confusion or mixed signals. If you have been waiting for a sign or some kind of clarity, let this be your moment to slow down and focus on your own growth, your peace, your goals, and your well-being, because when you become stronger and more self-aware, you naturally attract better and healthier connections into your life. The more you understand yourself, the easier it becomes to recognize what truly belongs in your life and what does not. Sometimes what feels like a strong emotional pull is simply a reminder of what you once had, not necessarily what you need now. And that distinction is very important, because your past does not always define your future. You have the power to choose differently, to grow beyond old patterns, and to create a life that aligns with your current values and vision. If someone is truly meant to be part of your life in a healthy and positive way, it will not require constant confusion or emotional struggle. It will feel right, not perfect, but right in a way that brings peace instead of stress, and clarity instead of doubt. So instead of focusing on a specific name or trying to force meaning into every thought, focus on building a life that feels meaningful to you. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Because when you do that, everything else begins to align more naturally. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right relationships will come into your life without needing to chase or force them.